So today, what I'm gonna be showing you is going to be turkey Parmesan instead of your traditional chicken Parmesan. So some of the ingredients that we're gonna need, we're gonna start off with, obviously, our turkey tenderloins. This brand here specifically is 99% lean, and so this fits perfectly within macros. We're also going to utilize Rouse for our marinara sauce. This one is fantastic because it has less sugar than most of the other marinara sauces out there, and to me it just tastes delicious. They have lots and lots of different flavors that you can utilize. You can never go wrong. You have to have your garlic salt. We put this on everything. It is fantastic. I'm very particular. It has to be Lawry's. Lawry's has a specific taste to it that just makes or breaks your garlic salt. You can utilize whatever you want, but my personal opinion, this is the way to go. We're also going to utilize Italian seasoning. Now this, it doesn't matter brand, just whatever kind of Italian seasoning you can get your hands on, you're gonna want some of this guy. Obviously, Parmesan would not be Parmesan. This one specifically is 1/3 less fat. So it is an Italian blend, and this one just has a little bit less fat than your traditional, and it just tastes great. It gives you that same deliciousness that utilizing any kind of Parmesan. And then last but not least, you have to have your delicious mozzarella cheese. So fat-free, so it fits within your macros. It does have a little calories to it, so make sure that you pay attention to how much you're putting on it, because it does add just a tiny bit, but it's fantastic because you get your delicious cheese without all the added fat. So these are the ingredients that we need for today with the one that we're gonna do. But one of the other things, there's a handful of other seasonings that I love to use, and these ones I used during my prep because obviously with the marinara and the cheese, when I was getting closer to my show, I couldn't utilize those because I had to be very cautious of the extra macros. So some of my favorite go-tos where I would literally just add these seasonings. This one is a chicken rotisserie, and it literally tasted like fried chicken when I took it out of the air fryer. It was crispy, it was delicious, it was moist, it was juicy. Very, very, very good. Then you have your red hot buffalo seasoning, and you can also pair this with the sauce to give a little extra drizzle over the top to give some moisture as well. Very, very delicious. This one, if you're having a slight little pizza craving, add a generous amount of this one to yours, and you will have, and I like to also add a little of crushed red pepper, and it gives you a little bit of a pizza flavoring. And then you can never go wrong with blackened, especially those of you that like to have a little bit of spice. This one is very, very delicious when you air fry this guy up. Again, nice and crispy and delicious. So, all right, now we're gonna go ahead and get into showing you how to prepare this guy. Okay, so I went ahead and got our turkey tenderloins out, and what we're gonna first do, I like to fillet them because as you can see, they're pretty thick, and those don't cook very well in the air fryer. So let's go ahead and just fillet these up real quick. And just cut them in half. And it also gives you a little bit more too to work with. This, spin it over, and this guy has a very interesting little extra piece there. We'll leave that off to the side on that one. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and get these guys seasoned up. So I'm gonna take these guys off. Be very generous with your seasonings. I like to add a lot of goodness to this. Because obviously the more seasoning you add to it, the more flavor you're giving it. Got our Italian seasoning, and now we're gonna add our garlic salt. Right like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our marinara sauce. And depending upon how much sauce you want, this is all in your preference. I like to add roughly 1 to 1.5 tablespoons per little tenderloin. You can add more or less based on what your preference is. Again, keep in mind this is a little extra macros with having the marinara sauce, so you want to be cautious depending upon what your goals are. And then I have added the cheese at this point before, and I just found that it gets a little bit too cooked. So I like to add it into the air fryer like this first, and then when we're about 5 minutes left with the air fryer, we're gonna go ahead and add our cheeses at that point. But let's go ahead and get this over into the air fryer. Like that. And unfortunately, I have a smaller air fryer, so I only can do about 2 at a time. So it definitely makes it a little bit longer of a prep. Okay, so from here, what I like to do is we're going to go ahead and increase the temperature up to 400, and I usually set my time to about 12 minutes, and then go ahead and get it started. All right, so as you can see, we've got our delicious final product here. When I was about 3 minutes, I found 3 minutes was the perfect place. When there was 3 minutes left on the air fryer, I went ahead and opened it up, and I added the Parmesan cheese and the mozzarella cheese. And then I went ahead and closed it back up, and it gives it a nice, delicious crispiness. So you can see, all done. Now, if you're not worried about macros or worrying about adding a little extra, what I would highly recommend doing that would make this fantastic is if you were to take these turkey tenderloins and dredge them in egg whites and then roll it in panko or Italian breadcrumbs, then add your stuff on it and air fry it. That'll give you more of your classic kind of chicken tenderloin or chicken Parmesan / turkey Parmesan, since that's what we're working on today. But now the fun part of being a chef is you gotta take a taste. So let's see how this tastes. Ooh, perfect. That is delicious. All right, guys, so that wraps us up for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to be notified of future stuff like this, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and click that little bell button, and we will let you guys know when we have more delicious recipes coming your way.